Riverside, January 20th. MonteCarlo, January 23rd and 25th. Daytona, January 27th. Daytona again, February 24th. These four events, just 35 days apart, have created quite a stir in the automotive world. What does it all mean to the consumer? How does he benefit? That's what this report intends to explain. Here's the story on proven total performance. Any man who makes his living on the track will tell you it's not speed alone that wins races. In most of the big ones, often a third or more of the cars don't reach the finish line because of mechanical failures or damage to the car resulting from these failures. For the average driver's needs, product testing at the manufacturer's proving grounds brings the cars up to peak efficiency and reliability. But a race driver puts more wear on a car in one 500-mile race than the average driver does in 4 years. Obviously, engineers learn a lot in a hurry from the races about the design of their cars. Many product improvements result from what is learned on the track. For instance, take the case of a Ford connecting rod bolt failure. For normal driving conditions, there would have been no problem. It would take years, if ever, for the bolt to work loose. But in a rugged race, under the terrific pressures exerted on all engine parts, the bolt worked loose. Ford engineers quickly found and corrected the trouble. Result, longer part life and increased safety for every Ford owner. Take that new Ford roofline. The fastback styling not only has great eye appeal, it is also an extremely functional design, as was learned from racing, because it cuts air drag. There is actually 14% less drag on the fastback model than on the more conventionally styled sedans. What does it mean? A professional driver will tell you that when you overcome air resistance, you increase power and fuel efficiency, and you reduce the noise level. You also improve car handling, because the new lines provide the smoothest possible airflow. Racing not only helps engineers design more reliable cars, it also proves which cars already are more reliable. That brings us back to the excitement caused by Ford's sensational performance wins. The remarkable part of it all is that the cars that won all these races were 1963.5 models, and they did it before public announcement. In other words, they proved their total performance capabilities even before the consumer put his cash on the line. Here's how it happened. On January 20th, a new fastback Ford Sports hardtop entered the 500-mile NASCAR race at the famed Riverside International Raceway. This was not one of those private Riverside contests you heard about. This one was before 52,500 spectators who watched the good and the bad of it all. They saw 44 cars start in the big event. 44 cars driven by the finest, most experienced money drivers in the business. The course was not made to order for Sunday drivers. It was a tough one with sharp turns, hair-raising S-curves, and cluttered with a lot of eager competitors. And with all this professional talent behind the wheels, it boiled down to which machine could deliver the goods, the best total performance. After 500 grueling miles, the checkered flag said Ford was the car. The winning Ford finished 30 seconds ahead of the second best car, the Pontiac. The nearest Chevy was 9 laps behind. In other words, it trailed Ford by more than 24 miles. And Plymouth, who claimed great performance victories over all its competitors in a private Riverside contest a week earlier, didn't even finish the race. Only 20 of the 44 starters, all makes, were still running at the end. There were more Fords crossing the finish line than any other make. Competition may want to blame it on luck, But you rule that out because on January 23rd, two Falcon Sprint hardtops powered by 260 cubic inch V8s did it again. This time on the other side of the ocean in one of Europe's toughest sports car performance events, the MonteCarlo Rally. This event covered over 2,500 miles of a course made to order for the smaller European sports cars. The first part of the rally consisted of 3 days and nights of nearly continuous driving over roads that would even give a mountain goat the willies. The drivers pushed their cars night and day at wide open throttle over ice and snow-covered mountain roads and through fog that cut visibility down to nearly zero. On the steep grades and 180-degree turns, the drivers continuously shifted from maximum speeds to near panic stops, and those wheels had to hold fast to the road or else. Only 102 out of 296 starting cars survived the ordeal. Nearly 2 out of 3 cars couldn't make it. Falcon not only outran and outmaneuvered the other cars in its class, it outlasted them. No other car in its class even finished. The final event of the MonteCarlo Rally consisted of an 18-mile high-speed test on MonteCarlo's narrow, twisting Grand Prix course. Falcon blazed over it in an astounding 6 minutes, 22 3/10 seconds. It became the fastest production sedan ever to lap this course. At MonteCarlo, Falcon proved beyond doubt that it was the best overall performing car in its class in the world, and the toughest, too. Back on this side of the ocean again, on January 27th, Super Torque Fords beat all competitors in 2 classes for overall performance at the Pure Oil Performance Trials at Daytona. These tests, conducted by the Pure Oil Company, were rigidly supervised by NASCAR, the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. All entries were taken apart, piece by piece, and examined to be sure these cars were production line automobiles, the kind people buy right off the showroom floor. Each car was classified according to engine size to keep things even. Results were measured by a battery of delicate measuring instruments. These tests measured economy to see how far each car traveled on 1 gallon of gas at specified speeds. Acceleration to see how quickly cars accelerated from 25 miles per hour to 70, the important highway passing range. Braking. Each car made 20 quick stops at designated speeds to check brake fade. Then a panic stop from 60 miles per hour. Results. Ford won top honors by scoring more points overall than any entry in Class 1 for high-performance V8s and in Class 2 for large V8s. But probably the most dramatic proof of Ford's total performance superiority came on February 24th at Daytona's 5th annual 500-mile stock car race. This time, before 71,000 race fans, 5 1963 Fords, powered by the new 4-barrel, 427 cubic inch engine, finished 1st through 5th, literally walking away from competition. Now, check this scoreboard. There were 50 starters, all makes, but only 23 finished. 10 of these were Fords, one of them a 62. Here's a phenomenal record, proving total performance. First place at Riverside, first and second place at Monaco, first and second class winners at the Pure Oil Performance Trials, first through 5th place at the Daytona 500-mile race. It all adds up to superior roadability, superior braking, superior handling, superior quality, and superior reliability. All these are good buying reasons for any man who's considering a new automobile. They assure greater satisfaction, more pleasure, safer driving,